Prologue. The Awakening of the Windstrider. The wind howled over the highlands of Eldmere, a whispering force that carried the echoes of ancient warriors and the untamed dreams of those yet to rise. Beneath the pale light of a waning moon, a lone knight stood at the edge of the great precipice, the valley yawning below like the open pages of an unwritten destiny. Clad in the silvered steel of his ancestors, he bore the insignia of House Windstrider, a crest of soaring falcon wings, though he had never known what it is meant to truly fly. His name was Phelan, and for as long as he could remember he had lived in the shadow of duty. From the time he could walk, he had been trained in the sacred tenets of knighthood, loyalty, service, and sacrifice. His blade had been honed for the protection of others, his voice tempered to soothe, his hands taught to mend rather than to wound. He had knelt in reverence before lords and monarchs, bowed his head to the wisdom of elders, and bent his will to the needs of all who crossed his path. A knight, after all, was meant to be a guardian, a shield against the chaos of the world. But somewhere beneath the weight of his honor, Phelan had lost himself. He had become a man of endless agreements, a keeper of fragile peace, a prisoner of whispered appeasements. To deny a request was to risk rejection. To speak his own desires was to risk displeasure. And so he had smiled when he wished to scowl, yielded when his soul begged him to stand, and silenced the cry of his own heart for the sake of harmony. Yet in the stillness of the midnight hour, when the halls of Castle Arden lay quiet and the burdens of the day retreated into silence, Phelan would dream. He would dream of windswept plains where the air was free of expectation, of deep forest glades untouched by the demands of kings and counselors. He would feel the ghost of wings upon his back, something ancient, something lost, something that had been his before, long before fear bound him in chains of courtesy. And now, standing upon the precipice of the unknown, he felt it again, a shift in the air, a call in the wind. Something within him was stirring, not a knight's duty, not a noble's obligation, something older, something wilder, a power long buried beneath the quiet chains of submission. The wind picked up, howling like the voice of the ancients, tearing through the valley like an omen of things to come. Phelan tightened his grip on the hilt of his sword, his pulse thundering like the hooves of unseen steeds. And for the first time in his life, he asked himself a question that had never dared pass his lips. What if I was never meant to kneel? A storm was rising, a reckoning, a path unknown woven through the misted woods and veiled by the whispers of forgotten gods, a journey not of service, but of self. Phelan Windstrider took a step forward, and the wind rose to meet him.